Hi everyone, my name is Titi and I'm an embryologist. So that basically means I try to help people make babies for a living. It's kind of fulfilling. I also have crazy, annoying friends who are very fun-loving people and a very supportive family. Pretty much standard, your basic, normal, everyday life. And yeah, well, in addition to like your standard normal life, I also have sickle cell anemia, which basically means like my blood is shaped really weirdly like a sickle, and so it's not able to do all of the things it's meant to. Well, with sickle cell, I'm pretty much able to live like a standard normal life, provided I take tons and tons of drugs daily. I have a crisis once in a while. Once in a while means once every 3 months for me. And I have red cell exchanges where I get donated blood and then take out my own sickle blood simultaneously. Coming to that decision to do red cell exchanges to help me live a normal life was kind of really hard and difficult point. I was falling ill all the time. Not that many people that I know who have sickle cell do red cell exchanges as frequently as I do, and that's because with sickle cell, despite us having similar biological markers and things like that, our sickle cell differs, and sickle cell does differ from individual to another individual. So my experiences are completely different from my friends who I know have sickle cell and some of my family members as well. So with that, I've had to, deal with, even though you have a little bit of a community with sickle cell, your experiences are your own, so you have to deal with that in what way you seem fit. And a lot of people don't really understand this. See, that's where I find a lot of the mental stress that comes with having a debilitating condition like sickle cell to be. That was totally. Okay, so I've had, your regular painful crisis, your vaso-occlusive crisis, your normal stress-induced crisis, and vasovagal syncopes, which I have very often for some very funny reason. So dealing with all of that, I feel like when I was younger, like all these physical challenges and everything, like when I was younger, it was pretty much a breeze for me. Like I just felt like I didn't have to do the worrying, the adults did the worrying, blah blah blah. I just had to focus on me getting better. And even though everyone else around me was worrying, they would always, look at me like, there's nothing going on. And I never really felt there was any need to worry. I never really thought I had anything to lose. But then growing up, going to uni, living by myself, starting to accumulate stuff in my life, education, trying to having wants and desires for oneself, like where you want to be in the future and stuff like that. And it's just, you just have this constant thing that's constantly hindering you. Like it's just like stop, like you can't go any further and stuff like that. Because anytime you try, then you just fall back. So there was actually a point in my life that I did 1 week out of hospital and then 2 weeks in for the better part of 4 or 5 months, I think. So it was like 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week. But then that's the kind of hindrance I'm talking about. No matter how resilient you are and how much of a go-getter, and then it's kind of tiring. I find that the psychological aspects of sickle cell are not really talked about as much as they should. Everyone just thinks it's either when you're in crisis and when you're down, that's it, and then when you're back up, everything's fine. But no, I find that I don't make a full recovery after every sickle crisis until I'm mentally prepared to make a full recovery. So even though my body is physically okay and I get discharged from hospital, I don't recover until personally, I feel like I was blessed to actually realize the importance of my mental health for my sickle cell and my own well-being. And I feel like everyone who suffers from this disorder should be able to have access to it. And I'm so grateful to Synapse Health, who they're basically offering free telephone counseling sessions for patients with sickle cell. Like you don't have to do anything, you don't have to talk too much. If you just want someone to listen, if you want to describe how you're feeling. I mean, it's very daunting talking to your parents and friends all the time. They're doing it for World Sickle Cell Day, which is actually on the 19th of June, but then the service is actually running from 17th to 22nd, so call, bring.